What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Invasive Brews. I'm gonna give a late summer, late July update on the yard that we started out for, putting out for wildlife, and well, some plants that have come up and some gardening stuff and some failures that I've had. Well, one failure is I have yet to kill off the yard and plant the clover. I need to get that done because the bag says it needs to be done late July, early August, so that is a priority here pretty soon. But I wanted to give a kind of a walkthrough of the garden. So here we go. All of my onions, my tomatoes. So my oh god, big weed. So I have my lettuce here, and since it bolted in the summer, I don't really, a lot of people with their lettuce, they just cut it and plant something else. I let this one go this year because one, it flowers, pollinators. Two, you get seeds out of it for next year's garden. So I need to collect those seeds. And when you know lettuce is done seeding is when you can find a good one here. These little white tufts that'll make them fly away. And then you get a whole bunch of seeds out of one flower. So yeah. Now if I let these just kind of fall into the tank, I'll have a full tank of lettuce next year. Right here, this is the summer squash and cucumbers this is the tank that had the hay bale buried underneath it. So you can't even see the tank anymore. That one volunteer tomato, I should have pulled it. But yeah, you can't even see the tank anymore. I got this little wire mesh so it can climb. Cucumbers and summer squash. So that hay bale is underneath them. So again, we're gonna see what that looks like after the season. This tank is just a tank of, all the clippings and all the weeds that I pull. That'll be buried next summer. Potatoes, I'm pretty sure I can harvest them. Yep, see, big old potato there. I can harvest these. They're ready. All of my tomatoes and peppers. A lot of blooms on these peppers. Not a lot of peppers though, not yet anyway. These cooler days might make them grow a little bit. Peppers like it hot. Got some tomatoes in there that need to be picked.
Now, normally, most people would freak out if they saw a large grasshopper like this in their potatoes, like this obscure bird grasshopper, or even this tobacco hornworm. But nature has a way of balancing things out, because later I saw this common grackle eating what looked to be that grasshopper. So, if you have enough biodiversity in your yard, you're gonna have those checks and balances.
The kind of catch-all garden that I started with some of the transplants. There were some marigold transplants, ran another volunteer tomato. Those sunflower transplants that were really looking weak, well, this is them now. So they transplanted well. They kind of shook off their transplant shock, except maybe that one's a little scrawny. Bean plants, the one sole surviving strawberry. Don't mind that hole because someone, Hazel, likes to get in here and dig in the nice cool dirt. But yeah, you can see, all of these onions that I told you that were from a bad onion in the refrigerator, well, that is it now. So it will grow. But the main reason I do that is to collect these. Right there, there's 3 onion seeds right there for next year's garden. All those flowers will produce seeds. Another hazel hole. I did accumulate some more bad onions. Hazel, stop. I did accumulate some more bad onions from my brother's garden. He was just gonna throw them away, so I put them in here and let them grow. So yeah, more seeds, more onions. My 2 transplanted basil plants. And a pathetic little excuse of a sunflower garden here in the front. I just kind of transplanted some that were gonna get mowed. So. Okay, so I did say I would update you on why I planted just carrot tops. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the previous episode of me doing my yard. Things have grown. I mean, I got all these flowers here. They're still not the healthiest. I've got to do some weeding, but this black-eyed Susans are doing good, the cone flowers. But the carrots. So this is a wild foxglove growing, but right here is an umbel or a flower set of the carrots. All those are from the carrot tops. So all of these are from the carrot tops. Just the tops of carrots that would be just thrown away in the trash. Yes, I'm going to get seeds of carrots for next year's garden from these. Pollinators love them, but these are also the host plant to one of the coolest butterfly species around. There you go, focus, there it is. The black swallowtail. Let's see if I can get him to do his plume. His defensive plumes on his head, there they go. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, black swallowtails love plants in the carrot family. Dill, parsley, and carrots. A lot of people don't like them eating their carrots, but carrots are a biannual species, which means they grow their root, which we eat the first year. See if there's any more on here. They grow the root, which we eat the first year of their lives. And then their second year, they grow the flowers. They'll grow their flowers, they'll seed, and then they'll drop, and then the cycle goes. These will, if they survive the winter, these will come back. They'll come back again next year. I'll probably add some more in here for more butterflies to lay their eggs on, more seeds to collect. But that is why I plant carrot seed or carrot tops in my flower garden. Yes, they produce a white, beautiful flower, which pollinators love, but they also serve as a host plant to a very cool species of butterfly around here. I mean, there are definite signs of something eating this elm. And that's where I put the... Come on, focus. Not a lot of light today, it's cloudy. Right there, that's where I put him. We're gonna see if it'll focus on the... There. That being it. I believe this is a little hair streak caterpillar that I saw hanging from the elm tree leaf. I'll put him back. As I'm looking at this caterpillar, I noticed that on my fence. That is one big pile of bird poop. But you see just how little I have in my yard. I have this little makeshift, we need some plants, kind of wildflower garden. Again, the pitiful little sunflowers up there, the backyard, the vegetable garden, that little patch of just seed collecting plants. But you saw the species that are utilizing them. So it just goes to show that little efforts make big impacts for your local ecosystem. And I'm going to add on to this project every year, so it's going to look a lot better as we live here. But this summer, the projects have just been stacking up. You know, wedding planting is taking a big part of it. I'm painting the underside of the soffit and the trim of the house. The yard needs to be done. So this is kind of taking a back seat. So hopefully that some of these seeds kind of just fall and kind of help me with that project of making it a lot better. But you see, just a little bit can go a long way with your local ecosystem. So there's no reason that every one of us can put at least a little bit of our yard into native plants to help our native ecosystem. If everybody put a little section in their yard, think of the hundreds of thousands of acres that we could transform from turf grass into, you know, wildlife habitat, even if it's just that big. That you saw the impact that this little patch does. Now imagine if everybody down my block, there's my dog, and that way did just that, or down your block, or down every city block. Think of the impact that could make. So I'm going to keep you guys updated with this new yard. This might be the last one of this year. I might show some more species in a short or something like that. But this will be probably the last one of this season. I'll start up again next season. And who knows, if something spectacular visits my little yard, like the little swallowtail caterpillar, if I get more, then I'll update you. But until next time, plant native and drink local.